Hello and welcome to Happy Horror Time. My name is Tim Murdoch.
And my name is Matt Emmert. And if you are watching and wondering, why the hell are Matt and Tim wearing sports shirts?
We love sports.
We have totally changed and we're now big into sports. No, this is our episode reviewing Him, the new movie produced by Jordan Peele's company. And it is all about football. So Tim and I searched our wardrobes. And Tim, tell us about your shirt.
This is an Ohio State Buckeyes. People in Ohio love the Buckeyes. They love football.
I have a New York Jets sweatshirt.
That's nice.
My dad gave this to me. I love the color. So that sounded so gay. I love the color.
It's a beautiful color.
My dad used to have season tickets to the Jets, and I used to go with him to a lot of games. So I've seen the team play a bunch. They pretty much suck. I think they still suck.
Do they now? When I hear the word Jets, I think of West Side Story. When you're a Jet,
it's not that. No. But so this is the only sports-related paraphernalia I have at the moment. Isn't that sad?
Really?
Well, what else do you have?
I have this, and I have a jersey in my garage that says 69.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's where you met your boyfriend Jacob.
Oh, you wore at that Jocks versus Nerds party 7 years ago.
7 years ago, it says 69 on it.
Wow, is that your number if you were a football player, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I'm a tight end.
Ew.
I don't know. Cut that. That's disgusting.
We are keeping that. Tim just said he's a tight end.
No, I'm a quarterback. I don't know.
I think if you were playing football,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what position I could see you in.
I would be the kicker.
Water boy. Kicker. Yes, kicker. Yes, if I were playing, I will say when I was a kid, I did like to play catch with a football with my dad. And my parents always thought like I could throw well, but I was very skinny. So they always told me if you ever play football, and I never did, be the quarterback because you don't want to be someone who's like constantly getting tackled all the time. But the quarterback gets tackled a lot too.
Do you know why I'm named Timothy David?
Because of an Ohio State?
No, because of Touchdown Murdoch.
No way.
Yes. that went awry.
Wow.
Yeah.
They named you Touchdown Murdoch. Wow. I love it. But
TDM.
I just want to know, your dad is such a football guy.
That's all he talks about, yeah.
Do any of it, 2 out of his 3 sons are gay. Does Trevor like football?
Yes.
Okay. So
and Jamie does too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a bad stereotype. Gay people can like sports too.
They totally do, and they can, and they will.
And they'll be playing sports. And they'll play in sports, yeah. We just happen to not be big sports fans, although I've watched enough sports.
I like tetherball, Foursquare.
Foursquare's a hardcore
hacky
sport.
sack.
I've watched enough sports where I know enough to, like, Jacob always tells me when we watch the Super Bowl, because we do watch the Super Bowl, that I actually can tell him what's going on because I know enough about sports because I grew up watching and playing, but like I just don't care anymore.
That's the thing. I am happy that people love sports. It gives them something to do every Saturday, Sunday, or whatever day it's on. But and I think that's awesome. They dress and they have tailgates and it brings joy to so many people. So I'm not going to take that away.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's a great...
I just don't care.
It's a thing, for people who like it. People like really are obsessed with some sports. But, it can be the same way people could accuse us of being obsessed with horror movies. I mean, everyone has something they're really into. And hey, whatever brings you joy.
I'm also into fly fishing.
Yeah, I definitely see you being a fly fisher. Look, a river runs through it.
I saw that with Brad Pitt and Greg Schiffer.
With his long hair.
Did Brad Pitt have long hair?
Yes, he
did. I thought that was the
did.
other one, Something of the Fall.
No, a river runs through
What
it.
was his...
Legends of the Fall.
Legends of the
maybe
Fall.
It was. Oh, maybe he had short hair and a river runs through it.
You don't know your Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I don't know Brad Pitt hairstyles. How about in Cutting Class?
It was like kind of like this. Like mine.
Oh, yeah, but not gray.
And old. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So before we start into our review of Him, we this past week got to attend a book signing event for our recent guest, Ashley Cullens, who did the book on the Scream franchise, Your Favorite Scary Movie. And it was at a small little bookstore in West Hollywood called Book Soup. And it was really fun. We put a picture in our story a week ago or whatever when it came out, or when we went there. But it was really nice because she had quite a crowd that showed up for her. Kevin Williamson was there. Michael Kennedy, as in the writer of Heart, Eyes, and Freaky, was there. Marianne Madalena, producer of the Scream movies, was there. And so it was really cool because we got to see Kevin Williamson, who we've had on the show. We got to see Michael Kennedy, who we've had on the show. We met Marianne Madalena. And we also met a producer, and I can't remember his name.
Same. And he was such a nice guy, and he told us a lot of fun facts.
He was, apparently he worked closely with Bob Weinstein when Scream 1 was happening, and he started just telling us all these stories about how that went down and how it was tough to work with them and everything. And he's
the
in
original
her book.
Scream.
Yeah, the original Scream. And he's in Ashley's book. And I felt so awful because I couldn't remember his name, but I remembered reading the parts he was telling us stories about.
What we have to do is go back to the book, which I did not read, but I listened to the audio.
But would you go back? Would you go back to the future?
Yes, which opens apparently on October 31st on Halloween.
Wait, you mean coming back
to
the
future?
Yeah. Oh, I was
for the first time.
I know, for the first time. I'm pretty sure
40 years ago.
Yeah. Well, one cool thing is when Ashley saw us, she said, "Oh, it's the Happy Horror Time guys," which she was really nice, and she was telling people, she's like, they did a 90-minute interview with us. So
was it 90 minutes?
It was, because there was tons to talk about.
Well, there's 7 films.
Well, it's not just the 7 films. Like, there were so many interviews. She talked with so many different people, so there's so many different perspectives. But anyway, it was really fun. We took a picture with her, saw some people we've had on the show, and I felt really good for her because she had a great group there.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it felt like we were at Sidney Prescott's book signing in Scream 4 for Out of Darkness.
That's right. And don't they all leave the...
Dewey, that's my rental.
Right. And then inside there's pictures of her book with like
blood on it, yeah, because the opening murders just happened and they're all running, and they have that scene where the trunk opens up and you see all of them. Remember how big that like shot was of all of them looking in the trunk?
That made the rounds. That
made the rounds. I think it was in the trailer. It was like everything.
I can't believe that movie's 14 years old.
Oh my God. Scream 4 is 14 years old. That's crazy. Well, anyway.
I've lived like 10 lives since then.
Oh my God. But I thought you were only 21. So
I know, it's weird.
It's weird. Like if you're only 21, that movie came out when you were like a teen.
Do you remember the group The Cranberries?
Of course, zombie.
Didn't they sing a song like 21, 21?
I think it sounded just like that.
I know, yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't, I could be completely wrong.
Okay, so on to him. Now, you may be thinking, that's an interesting movie.
Title?
I was going to say for Matt and Tim to review, but look, we don't discriminate about any types of horror, sports, non-sports. Right, we see it all.
My favorite sports film of all time is like Rudy.
Hoosiers. I actually really like Rudy.
I know.
How about Major League? Remember
1, 2, or 3?
I only saw the
Jensen
first one.
Daggett from Friday 13th Part 8 is in Major League 3.
I didn't know that.
We're gonna have to watch.
Was that straight to video?
No, it did time.
It did time
in the theater.
Jail.
Yeah.
Did you see Rookie of the Year, where the kid can throw really fast?
Was that the kid from American Pie
and from Halloween Resurrection?
Now there's 2 of them. There's Rookie of the Year, and there's another one that was a little kid with. Oh, it's called Little Big League.
Is it?
There's like there was a certain time where little kids wanted to be in baseball.
And also remember Angels in the Outfield?
Yeah, Tony Danza was in that, right?
Who's the boss?
Yeah,
that's my
Angela.
Did you like that Tony Danza?
That was really good. I was like, really God,
I'm here with Tony.
Alyssa Milano's dad, right here.
Anyway, so look, we're getting right into our favorite month of the year, and this is our last episode before we get into October, when we are releasing a number of interviews with Halloween-related people. I'll just say that. It's going to be a fun October, so we're focusing on the Halloween franchise with a bunch of interviews. But we wanted to get a horror movie and a new release that came out right before that, and that was him. And this is something that they were really using the Jordan Peele name on this. Every trailer I saw from the mind of, but then I'm like, he only produced it. He didn't write and direct it. So his company
didn't even
bought
star.
It. He did.
I don't even know if he visited the set.
Jordan Peele was one of the producers. How involved? What I'm thinking, I'm just guessing. He probably read the script, liked it, and his company bought the script, and that's kind of where it ends. I don't know exactly how everything works out with that. Was he in the day-to-day? Probably
nope.
Not. No. Was he there with us? Get out.
Get out. So I couldn't remember. I was like, there's one more. There's one more.
So it's not like quite a Jordan Peele film, but it also is because he's not going to put his name on anything. Like, I really think Jordan Peele is going to look for something he believes in. And I think he probably really believed in this film.
Do you believe in this film?
Look, so tough. I kind of thought it was a big old mess. Like, to be honest, like, we saw this movie and just overall thoughts, it was very convoluted. I kind of understood the reference it was making to sports leagues and selling your soul to be like a really great athlete, but I didn't think it was a good story or a cohesive movie.
Well, thank you for saying that, because I was having trouble because I was still trying to figure out Marlon Wayans' character, and there was like blood. There was blood, and like the younger guy was taking Marlon Wayans' blood.
Yeah, but that's
about?
Getting into the intricacies of, because they
I thought that's what the whole thing was about.
It was because basically they added a supernatural tale to like passing down the title of like the greatest of all time, the GOAT or the him. Like, there's one chosen person, and there's this cult that like basically nurtures and gets that person to that status, and they pass down the blood of the greatest of all time, and that gives them an extra power as it. So it took like real sports types of stuff, but made it supernatural. The only thing is that there was, I couldn't quite tell if this was just social commentary on the sport of football, or if it was a supernatural tale, or if it was a football supernatural tale, or if it was, it was a lot.
This is what I thought. I thought everything I saw was straight up real. And this is how I thought the NFL works.
I mean, the thing is look, it's one of those movies that, if you listen to Happy Hard Time a lot, you hear that Tim and I aren't the biggest fans of movies that the horror of it is a metaphor for something.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess I was reading online and I thought this was a very good point, but it was not executed as well as what it was being compared to.
Yes.
The Substance.
Oh.
People were saying it's a male version of The Substance, but, you know, obviously The Substance was well crafted and thought out and had a plot. This was just kind of like someone took a crayon and was just like,
yeah, I can see that. I think that's actually a good assessment, because The Substance, it did have social commentary in it, but it felt like it was a tighter story. And this felt like it was kind of all over the place. There were so many things happening. There was a lot of yelling, a lot of working out. I won't complain, though, that you get to see Tyriq Withers shirtless throughout the majority of the movie. He is a great looking
27.
guy. Wonderful shape. He was in I Know What You Did Last Summer, and let me just tell you, I did not like him, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. I thought he was annoying. I can't
even remember that movie.
I thought the way I couldn't even understand him all the time. In this movie, I gotta say, one thing I will compliment is that I think both Marlon Wayans and Tyriq Withers gave really solid performances.
I agree 110%. And when the movie started, I actually was just, because, I mean, okay, are we starting?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Okay, no, but I'm like, the beginning of the film with all the toxic masculinity, for me personally, I was just like, my eyes were rolling a lot. I was just like, okay, God, like the dad's like, oh, that's going to be you someday. You need to man up. I was just like,
the opening, we have a young Cameron is our main guy. That's who's played by Tyriq Withers. And it's him as a young kid watching his favorite football star, Isaiah, who is played by Marlon Wayans, in a football game with his dad. And, you know, a lot of sons and dads, or daughters and dads, bond over watching football with them. And he like loves Isaiah, and Isaiah gets injured on the field.
And they actually show it, and it's really gross. It's like a bone shoving out through the kneecap, which, can that happen?
Of course. Anything can happen when you fuck up your leg or arm or anything. Your bones can break, shatter, bend, everything. So the dad in this is very much like one of those like almost coach-like dads. No guts, no glory. Like, it takes real men make sacrifices to get what they want. And he's very much like this with this young kid.
I mean, I don't know what the goals. I mean, as a gay man, okay, so I know people are people. People are people.
Thank you, Depeche Mode.
Okay, Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
So is the goal of a straight man is like the say all end all is to be a sports star if you're straight? I don't know. I can't. That's a blanket statement.
A generalization.
I don't know.
Beyond generalization.
I know.
I think that there's certain households where sports are very important, and I think a stereotype is that like dads want their sons to follow either in their footsteps or to play sports, and I think being an athlete is like really looked upon as like a great career, but I don't think that by any means is like all straight men, all men in general.
Right. And then
there's some doctors that they push their kids to be doctors just as much. And
also like there was the movie was also saying like, because I'm sure on campuses and even after campus life, like if after school, there's like obviously the NFL. And then, so it's like, they don't want these young athletes to get hurt. So it's like maybe school and scholarships are kind of fall to the wayside. It's, right?
Wait, I don't see
I'm just saying like the focus is not so much like their academics. Their focus
because they get the scholarship in the sport.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, look, there's scholarships given out for everything, academics, sports, all stuff.
Should have got one for choir.
I think so, definitely. Yeah. Or roller skating.
Skating school.
I think though that there is a group of people that look at sports stars and idolize them. Now, I'm not saying that it's
not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing, because look at us with horror stars.
Yeah, I look up to Michael Myers.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone, whatever their passion is, they kind of idolize the people that make a career out of that. So I think in this family, the dad was idolizing sports stars. The best achievement in his life could be as if his son became a sports star, and that's what was always like imposed on this young Cameron growing up.
Like, I mean, did he even really have a choice? Like, what if he's like, "Oh no, Dad, I want to be a writer"? Well, how would that go?
I know. Well, that happens a lot in families, I think, where the parents want their kids to follow in their footsteps. I mean, like I said, with doctors, I'm just using one career.
No, that's a good one.
It's like, you're not going to be a doctor? What are you thinking? And they want to do something creative or something. Everyone has parents who want them to do something successful, but also kind of sometimes follow in their footsteps. With this, the kid felt like he had to do football, but at the same time, he enjoyed it. But he did say, we do flash forward to later. He's now grown up. His dad has died in apparently the war. Right?
I feel like that was a puzzle missing from the movie. Like all of a sudden, like the dad...
I'll talk about it at the end because I have some ideas. But his dad is dead, and it looked like there's something on the shelf that says like he died in combat or something in a war.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah. So, but what happened is we do find out that Cam was actually going to quit football, and then soon after he told his dad died, and he felt like he had to continue to honor his dad's memory.
I felt like his mom throughout the film, because obviously in the film he gets hurt.
Yes.
Which, by the way, that whole scene, like he's like, okay, I guess he was, I don't know if he was on a college or a football field just throwing the ball through the goalpost. Yeah. Like, and someone came, like it looked like a mascot came up behind him.
Yes.
I thought that was a dream. Yes. I was like, who would do this to him?
It was creepy. So basically, when we flash forward, he is a rising like college star, and he is hoping to be drafted by the same team that Isaiah, the Saviors, because Isaiah is getting ready to retire.
By the way, is that a real team?
The Saviors, I do not think is a real football team. Okay. No, they're not. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like I know most of the teams in football, and I don't think they are. So, he is basically, and you know how they have like the big draft? Well, they have something called the combine
pilot season.
No, it was basically I think it was the league combine, they called it, which I thought was the draft, and he was going to be performing in that. And like right before that happens, someone in a very Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan way shows up behind him in the football field, and he's in like this goat, weird, devilish costume and slams him over the head.
Which I thought the goalpost fell on top of him, and that was supposed to be so that didn't happen. I was reading way too much into it because nothing was like spelled out for me.
I mean, the guy has a bat and goes and
but the way they showed the goalpost like shaking, I was like, is this to imply the goalpost fell on top of him?
You're looking way more into
it. I really was.
He's so good at being a quarterback that from far he was able to throw the football. You like how I'm doing this, Tim?
Yeah, that's
Are
good.
You getting in the football mode? He threw the football and he could hit the goalpost, which is really tough to do, and he hit both sides.
I could do it.
So it was kind of shaking because he hit it.
So, yeah.
Then the guy came up behind him, but I thought that was going to end him for good. Apparently, a couple days later, he's in the hospital. He has staples in his skull, and he's talking about competing in the combine anyway, and his like agent wants him to do it anyway, but his mom finally is like the doctor talks to the mom and says, like, if you get hurt again, your brain is swollen.
So she's like, I can't, the doctor was like, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm telling you not to.
Yes, and he says no, he wants to compete in this. And I looked at that as there is a lot of, look, there have been lots of studies that have come out over the years that people can severely injure their brain in
with
football.
Helmets.
Even with helmets.
Oh, can I tell a story?
Sure.
Okay. The story is that
you were playing football.
I was playing football. No, I wasn't playing football at all. But I had 3 staples in my head right here.
From what?
My boyfriend at the time, now ex,
hit you.
He hit me. No, not at all. He put like this glass shelf next to it, and I bent down and I cut myself on the corner of this glass shelf. So it was like 1, 2, 3. So they literally had to go staple, staple, staple. So and then I played kickball the same day.
Was it when we were playing kickball?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I remember I wore like a hat to cover up my 3 staples.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fun story.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's something jarring about seeing someone having staples in their
like
head.
10.
Yeah. But remember,
Maybe
the
more.
doctor has said your brain needs time to reduce the swelling. But he is basically, he still wants to compete. He wants to get drafted. But then there's this whole like, he kind of lashes out at his agent, his family, and he ends up just not competing in it, which is probably the healthiest thing anyway. And he's just not going to do it. Well, so then his agent calls him and says, Isaiah has decided to give you a chance to train with him at his own personal compound for a week, and then he's going to decide if you'll be drafted as his replacement. So, Of course, Cam is like, oh my God, I'm doing this.
When this whole thing started and when the Cam, is that his name?
Yeah.
The young guy's name's Cam. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when he went away to like what looked like the desert or this compound or whatever, I thought this was starting like a dream sequence. Like I really,
everything was a dream.
I did. I was like, none of this is real.
Just because it felt very
there
weird.
Was literally a football stadium inside of a compound. I don't even know what this was.
It literally felt like a compound. It looked like it was in almost like a Palm Springs. Yeah, like desert. It was so deserty. But as they're driving to Isaiah's compound, he has some fanatical fans who think he's like the Messiah. And one of them was played by Naomi Grossman, who played Pepper in American Horror Story. And she was crazy in this movie.
Yeah, she was scary too.
She had this long blonde wig. She looked out of her mind.
Spit on him.
Yeah, she spit on because these people like love Isaiah so much that they're like, no, we don't want anyone to replace him. Like, and I think that was supposed to be a metaphor for people truly like looking at these sports stars like they are gods.
Which is, I hope I am never that person.
That's the thing. I don't.
There's fandom and then there's fandom.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. There's certain people that I would get so starstruck in front of. Jamie Lee Curtis, for instance. But I also don't look at them as gods.
Would you act like that?
No. I don't look at any of these people as gods because it doesn't mean they're any better than we are. They just have been in things that we really love. So it is a little crazy when people start to look at sports athletes like gods.
Would you rather meet... Oh, no, I can't
do it.
No.
Do it.
Okay.
Jamie Lee Curtis or Kelly Clarkson?
Oh, yeah. Who would it be?
How long do I get to hang out with them for?
20 minutes.
Just 20 minutes. Oh God, that's so tough because I feel like I would do Kelly Clarkson because if I only got 20 minutes with Jamie Lee Curtis, I don't know if she'd want to talk a lot about Halloween. If I got hours with her, she probably would. Whereas Kelly, I know she would just be up for talking about anything. For 20 minutes, Jamie Lee Curtis would probably want to be about other stuff. So, but either way, I want to talk to both of them. But I want Jamie Lee Curtis to talk to me about Halloween.
She won't.
That's it. Okay.
Kidding.
So right away, when Cam meets Isaiah, he's very nice. He's very intense.
Well, a couple things that grounded the movie a little bit is like just these minor little details. Because I was really reading too much into this film.
You're like, dream.
Everything meant something to me. But there was the scene where he was walking in and there was like Amazon packages. He's like, oh, I'll be nice. I'll pick up the Amazon packages. And then he goes in to start to talk to Marlon Wayans.
Isaiah,
yeah. Isaiah. And so then he goes, give me your phone. Okay, so
yes, he took his phone away.
He took his phone and he goes, you can't do this, you can't do this. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, he just goes, grinder.
Oh, well, he
I
was
was
saying, I think
like-
Tim was like, is he gay? No, he was saying, like, you can't be on this side, you can't be on this side. He mentioned porn sites, he mentioned OnlyFans.
Right.
He mentioned Grindr, just like,
I know.
no matter what you're into.
Right,
That's what I
right.
meant.
But I was
Yeah.
reading way too much into
Tim,
it.
you're like, oh my God, they're all gay. Gay,
I was
gay,
like,
gay, gay, gay,
I was
gay.
like, oh my God, Kim and Isaiah are gonna have a
They're
relationship.
gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I mean, who
Well,
knows?
I mean, it was light on overtones or undertones.
Little homoeroticism
Little
only
bit.
in the like athletes going like, yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of weird. Oh, we also meet Isaiah's wife, who's played by what's her name?
Julia Fox, Uncut Gems.
She was the girl who went viral for the way she pronounced Uncut Gems in that interview. And she's like, well, I mean, what was the quote?
She goes, Uncut. I wish I can't.
She said, like,
remember.
well, I did that kind of work in Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. Well, Julia Fox, I actually like her. What's it called? The way dialogue that is stretched. What's it called? It's called. There's a name for it.
For dialogue that is stretched?
No, Julia Fox. There's a vocal fry.
Vocal fry.
That's
okay,
oh
yes.
gosh, my
Uncut
brain was
Gems.
like.
Uncut Gems.
Julia Fox is known for her vocal fry and her crazy fashions, and I like that this movie because she was
Embrace
cast.
that?
They really did embrace it.
She was crazy. She looked crazy because she had blonde hair, but her eyebrows were like bleached out, so
They
you
were
could barely
matching.
see them.
Yeah.
And then she was always like either wearing some high fashion thing or like going shopping or doing like, I feel like she was the stereotypical like athlete's wife. Like, let me just use the money.
Oh, I didn't know what to gather from her. Again,
But that was
I thought
what we were supposed to think because she obviously is a lot more involved than we think.
Right. She's
Yeah.
very much involved to whatever the hell was going on in this movie.
So I think our favorite part of the movie was when Marlon Wayans made Cam do a physical right in the middle of a football field and asked him to drop his drawers. And he was fully nude there. Of course, you only see him from the backside, but boy, what a great backside it was.
Buttocks.
But what's funny is after they do the physical, Marlon Wayans says, I only wanted you to go down to your underwear. What are you doing? You're making us uncomfortable. And that was kind of funny because I'm like, you literally said drop your drawers.
The movie, I'm not saying the movie was a comedy by any means, and I don't even think they were trying to balance it. Like, it was just trying to be so messed up.
But don't you, I mean, not that this is the point of the movie, but don't you think Tyriq Withers is very attractive?
He is. He's very cute. And
Just
the
very
movie
attractive.
was just a series of close-ups of him trying to figure out what was going on. So that's why I was really, really set on like, okay, when you've got like 20 stitches in your head, I just think like he's not in reality. Like none of this movie, which I
like
thought
the
of
whole
was
movie's a dream. I mean, that'd be
the
a
whole
cop
thing
out, but
could
like
be a dream.
he definitely was having weird dreams while he was there and hallucinations. First off, the first sign that something is wrong there is they're doing some practice drills, and then Marlon Wayans decides, okay, we're gonna do a drill where every time Cam makes a mistake when he's making a pass, we're going to put a football into this speed launching machine that launches us at a guy's face. Full speed, and every time he messes up, it launches, hits his face, and literally he's bleeding, his teeth are knocked out, and he says, oh, anything for you, Isaiah. It's like there's a weird cult of people that'll do anything for him. And Cam, here's my question. If you or me were Cam, I know
You'd
we'd never
stop
be
it all
right away, right?
You'd be like, hey, this is so
This is
messed
dumb.
up. This is dumb. It's just football.
Like-
but that scene never happened.
No, he does say like, "What's going on? What are you doing?" But then he
it's-
goes along with
right.
it.
He had like a
That would have been it with me. That
like
would have
half
been
a
it.
second of like, oh, maybe this isn't right. But this scene for me was the most uncomfortable, and I was kind of looking around like, is anyone else as uncomfortable as I am?
It was very uncomfortable because, again, torture in any means is tough for me to watch. I know it is for you
and because
too.
we were watching it in a special kind of sound, so every single time the football hit, I was like, I'm uncomfortable.
It really was. And okay, I will put my mind in Cam's mindset. And I guess if there's something you want so badly, and him to be the quarterback of the Saviors was his biggest like dream job, that maybe you would let some things that you find are morally wrong slide, but like so much weird shit keeps going on. Like then he starts to see that Isaiah's getting these blood injections, and Isaiah says it's his own blood but like a highly oxygenated version of it, and then they start giving some of the injections to Cam, like putting his blood in him to boost him up like an energy booster.
Who was in training? Who was in training?
Cam was
right,
yeah.
but I mean, like, why was Marlon doing all this stuff?
Oh, just
too?
to be, which is funny because he said
Like,
he may
what's
be
he training
retiring.
for?
Yeah, what's he retiring for? So there's just all sorts of weird drills that he's doing. He's like making him run such long distances that he's throwing up.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Well, first off, it didn't look like they didn't show like a lapse of time or anything, so it looks like he just sprinted and barfed. He's like, I'm over this.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then things take another step into the absurd when they're hanging out in the sauna. And that crazed fan.
Before that happens, the two main actors have a really good acting scene, and I was like, okay, like the rest of the movie that's going on is nuts.
Which scene?
The scene before the lady comes in.
Oh, when they're in the sauna,
right? They're
talking.
just having a talk, and it's very good dialogue between the two very strong actors.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the movie surrounding this scene is just nonsense.
It's creepy. It's putting the horror elements in. Basically, while Cam is in the sauna alone, the crazed fan, I don't know how she broke into Isaiah's compound.
She's underneath the...
It's like the sauna bench or whatever, and sneaks into the sauna and gets one of the steam rocks and I guess is going to slam Cam's face, like to kill him. And he wakes up right before and he ends up like choking her to the point that you almost think he killed her.
Right, he didn't. And also, I hate to bring it back to Friday 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan.
I know.
But Jason picked up one of those rocks and put it on this guy's stomach.
It through his stomach, yeah. I actually thought that was a better scene in Friday the 13th than in this one, yeah.
Wait, well, though, I mean, Friday 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan is a lot better than the movie Him. I
actually would agree, yeah.
Thank you.
So Cam is freaked out because not only was he almost killed, he almost choked this woman to death. Marlon Wayans comes in, calmer than what's something
calmer
really
than
calm?
a cucumber.
Calmer than a cucumber. She like grabs her by the neck, looks like he's gonna go to kiss her, and then shoves her into the back wall to the point that her neck snaps and she falls dead.
Yeah, and so this for Cam should have been the biggest wake up call. Like, oh, I just saw the guy training me murder someone, and maybe I should call it a day.
Yeah, but literally he's just like, we're gonna just it just moves along like it was nothing. Now I understand that the girl was attacking him, so whatever they did was kind of self defense. But the way Marlon Wayans went about it was like, I have no feelings. I am a psychopath. I'm just going to kill this person who's threatening me and don't care.
Right. And then like the guy that's the doctor, I guess, he comes in and just mops it up.
Yeah, just like it's nothing.
Oh, like we kill people here.
Yeah, it's just there's a bunch of weird scenes. There's also weird scenes where like Cam is partying with Isaiah's wife and then he kind of blacks out and the next day he wakes up and Isaiah's holding a gun to his head saying, "Did you fuck her?"
Yeah, I was like, this is crude.
But then what's weird is like he's playing mind games. He says, "Oh, well, you shouldn't care because like anybody can," like he was acting like you should do whatever you want.
Was he setting him up to be like, hey, when you play football, it's almost like you're playing God?
He's acting like he is a god, and I think he thinks he is because he's the GOAT. He's him, and he's training Cam to be like, are you going to be someone who like killer? You can kill someone without remorse. You can sleep with that. Oh, he jokes that Cam wants to be monogamous to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not what we do.
I was waiting for his girlfriend or his mother or his best friend to come back into the movie, or like at least at the end, like have another like kind of like a beginning and a middle and an end, or like none of that.
No, there's a phone call. He talks to his mom on the phone, but remember phones, because you can't have your phone at this compound. But as we get into even more stranger things. So he does go to a party that the wife again takes him to and says, the Savior's owners are going to be here. We're almost done with your training. You got to put in a good word. They're going to, to be the next quarterback.
Okay, so this lighting was like, for me, it just was so symbolic of like the devil or hell.
Yes, it looked like a cult following.
Yeah, it was like bright red. So they go in and it's like bright red and then so the guy that's his doctor comes up to him and like I was looking for anything like a clue. Like, is this a dream? Is he going to snap out of it? Is he still under like amnesia?
Well, or a brain injury. Yeah.
Okay, so he comes up to him and he goes, "Run." So I'm like, oh, this means something.
Yes, he whispers run to him. Now, at the time, you're thinking, does he mean run, like get away from this compound? You find out a little bit later. But what happens is he meets the owners, and they're all these like old white guys. And I think that comes into play later. I'll get to that later. But like they're all like talking to him, and he's trying to impress them. But then in a weird, this is when I did, like you thought, start to think like, is there dream stuff going on? He starts kind of like, I don't know if
tripping.
They're all drinking a red substance, which looks like blood. And I'm like, is this Lost Boys?
Yeah, it was Lost Boys. And then like all of a sudden all the girls are naked.
And he's hallucinating. And then he sees the doctor's decapitated head. And almost like this group did a sacrifice. And I'm thinking either there's a cult thing going on or he's tripping.
Did Julia Fox chop his head off? Who chopped his head off?
We don't know. We just saw his head chopped off. But when Cam wakes up, he's like on a stretcher and he has an IV in, and more of Isaiah's blood is being pumped into him. And it's like, finally, he rips it out and finally he's hit the breaking point. But he realizes...
2 murders, I gotta call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. He can't move if he's paralyzed from the waist down, and he's able to get a syringe that has written the word run on it. And I think that's what the doctor was like cluing him in on, like when they incapacitate you, use the syringe with run.
Yeah, so he took that syringe and jammed it into his chest, and I'm like, okay, what is it? Well, first off, what's in there? Whose blood is that?
Whatever counteracted whatever was paralyzing him, I guess. Like, it was starting to get really absurd. So
this is when it got really absurd.
I know. Sorry. So he meets up with Isaiah, and they have a big talk where Isaiah finally admits to him that basically he explains that the blood of the greatest of all time gets passed like from one person to the next, and that's the blood they've been using. But then out of nowhere, he says, and we're going to have to fight to the death to see who's going to be the next greatest of all time. But here's what confused me. I thought Isaiah, if you just wanted to keep being the GOAT, why did you invite Cam to train, or was it to show that you were stronger than him?
Great question.
Because I thought he was retiring.
Right. If you're retiring, why can't you just let this young guy be?
But maybe it was all facade. Because everyone thought Cam was going to be the next great one, and Isaiah wanted to hold on to it. And that is a real thing in sports. A lot of people retire a lot later than they should.
It's almost like Demi Moore trying to hold on at the last minute to her youth.
Job. Yeah.
So it's like
exactly
the comparative. But here's where the substance really succeeded, because it was cohesive.
Yeah.
But this was like, okay, there's a lot of symbolicness going on.
And nightmarish dream stuff that we don't really know is going on.
Right. But it didn't go anywhere.
Well, they end up fighting really brutally, and it ends in Cam literally bludgeoning Isaiah to death with like his trophy.
I thought it was a helmet.
Well, it was a helmet. You're right. Yeah. You're right. I think he grabbed a trophy.
Well, I think the trophy was the first blow.
Oh, God.
And then the second blow was the helmet.
Get your bludgeoning instruments right.
Well, also, like, how was he able to do anything? Because just 2 seconds before
he was paralyzed.
Right, like he showed that he broke his arm, and I was like,
yes.
Okay.
During this fight, Isaiah breaks Cam's arm in such a way that he can't
it almost
move.
looked like it could be torn off.
Apparently, it wasn't his dominant hand, and he was able to use his one hand to beat him to death. Well, okay, so in our big climactic ending, because that wasn't the ending, Cam walks out of this thinking he's exiting the compound, and there's like a big ceremony where all of the owners of the Saviors are there, all these cheerleaders.
Well, this is more dream-like stuff. Okay,
but I think this really happened.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure it did happen. But it looked dreamy.
Yeah, it did
all the men were wearing pig masks. Julia Fox was like bright white, and she had like a signature book.
Yes.
Like contract, and then all the cheerleaders, their faces were what were their faces?
They looked like they had masks on.
Yeah, but they weren't the kind of masks like they looked like a way to like when you fuzz out someone's faces, it looked like pantyhose.
I know what you mean. Yeah. It was creepy. It was really fucking creepy. And remember, Cam has blood all over him. He's just bludgeoned Isaiah to death. And they basically announce, you are going to be the next greatest of all time, but you need to sign this blood oath. Literally signing your soul to the devil. I mean, the metaphor couldn't have been clearer.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we got
signing your life away, signing your soul to the devil. And Cam, in a heroic move, decides not to sign, and instead he is going to murder everyone in this ceremony.
Right.
And he starts attacking the different people with like a sword. He throws a sword at Julia Fox.
Well, she stands up. This is a pretty funny scene.
Yeah.
She stands up and she has a knife, and she's running with the knife, and then she trips and just stabs herself in the neck.
She stabbed herself. Yes, she did.
So she stabs herself in the neck, and I was like, I mean, I was laughing, but only because it was like so ludicrous.
But I mean, it was so ludicrous. Now, one thing I will say is that the ending of The Substance was pretty damn ludicrous too.
Well,
so,
The Substance, and then we also saw the Pete Davidson
The Home.
The Home. And this movie kind of falls in the same kind of genre, which is a weird genre that we are in.
Yeah, insanity.
Like where someone
personified.
just goes out and
a massacre at the end. A total massacre at the end. He's killing left and right. He decapitates the owner of the Saviors, which was one of these old white guys. And one thing I read about this movie, which I was going to bring up, is that like, and this is something that I'm speaking to what I read, is like that apparently, I think some black football players feel like they're at the mercy of the people who own the teams, who are usually these old white people who have tons of money and can just use them as their tools. That sounds very real to me. So I feel like they purposely made all the owners of the team and of this cult old white guys that are basically using these football players as their pawns in their game and things like that. So there's so many different things you can get from this movie. Right. But he ends up murdering the owner, decapitating him. But he stops at, he doesn't kill his agent because I guess he feels a little bit of connection to him.
That's a good question, because all of a sudden the agent is moving, his body is moving by itself into like, I guess,
pentagram.
Right. So I was like, okay, like, is he going to get it the worst?
So he does, because, and this is when, if for this whole movie, if you're wondering, is there more at play here supernaturally than just crazed people? Yes, because at the end, they show his agent being dragged across the ground into a pentagram, and then in the background, he just explodes into pieces.
I totally forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, he explodes into pieces. And again, for me, this was like, it's almost like a little too late. Like, if there were demonic, supernatural things happening the whole time, I would have wanted to see more of them throughout, not just at the end.
Yeah, like we didn't get to know these characters, and they weren't like throughout the whole movie, like, sign on this contract.
And I was like, it felt a little Rosemary's Baby-ish at the end with the Cole. So at the very last scene that we get is that like Cam is just walking away from this compound, shirtless and bloody.
Yummy a Coke.
And that's the end. We don't get to see what happened next.
That's what I mean. I was waiting for like, oh, does he get to see his mom again, his girlfriend, and that guy that he so meanly pushed at the beginning at that party?
I think that was his brother.
Was that his brother?
Yeah, I think that was his brother. I'm assuming he goes back and he has nothing to do with football. Oh, we forgot one big thing. When the Cole is telling him to sign the contract, they reveal that he was chosen and groomed for this role from a kid, and they had been in talks with his dad.
Yes, there's a flashback photo of like, he's like, oh, I got my picture taken with my dad and this guy, and I'm just about to chop off his head at a goalpost.
Yeah, like the owners of the Saviors basically knew his dad, and he was picked and groomed for this. And they even insinuate that the dad's death may not have been an accident, aka they may have killed his dad to get him to continue football, because remember, he was about to quit, and then his dad died.
Maybe his dad was going to go up to his son and be like, hey, if you don't want to play football, that's like, oh.
But I mean, so this Cole had been grooming him to be the next goat. And the next goat. That would have been. Were you the one that told me that originally was going to be the title, the goat? Yes, I read that goat, GOAT, was supposed to be the title before him. Which, yeah, it does seem like that would make more sense.
Him.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but so, and I think that speaks to a lot of times when you think about professional athletes. I'm going to get deep here. Like Olympians, figure skaters, any type of athlete, they always start training at such a young age, and their childhood is just like, it's fully engrossed with just this sport. And in a way, they're being groomed to be Olympians or professional athletes. Like, you're kind of on this path, you have to do it. So I feel like this was a supernaturally exaggeration of that.
I agree. And it also could have been like done in the world of like a pushy parent into acting. You know what I mean? Like, what do they call
Stage moms.
Stage moms. The movie could have been called Stage I'm making a prequel called Stage Moms.
Oh, you know what I was going to say of what I think happened at the end? I think that Cam left. I would hope to God he left football for good, because yes, you could say, oh, it was just this team, but I think he had his fill of this. Now, how is he going to explain what happened at the compound? No idea.
Yeah, he's I killed everybody.
Yeah, I killed everybody. Why? They wanted to offer you a contract?
What's the problem here?
Were they attacking you? Well, no, but they were wearing goat masks.
Were they pig masks?
I guess. Oh yeah, they were probably pig. Oh, and one other thing they admit that they caused that they hired someone to slam him and give him the accident before that the combine draft thing because they wanted to get him to train at the compound separately.
I still think that was a dream.
They were just well then, but how did he have the scar in his head?
Good point.
Like if that's a dream, why is he Nightmare on Elm Street?
I thought the goalpost fell on him.
I love that so many things, but there's a reason you didn't get what was correctly going on because a lot of shit was going on very fast, very fragmented. And it didn't feel like a cohesive story. But you're right, the visuals were pretty astounding.
Right. The movie was stylish. Mm-hmm. I thought the two main guys were great actors.
Great performances.
Julia Fox was a fun addition.
She was okay.
But I mean, I liked her. I liked her in anything.
She was passable.
But she's a unique actress. Like she's
Very
not
unique.
boring.
Yeah.
She's never boring, and I couldn't take my eyes off of her. But overall, I thought I couldn't make heads or tails of it. Yeah. I was just kind of like, this movie's annoying me because it's just a good-looking guy getting beat up.
It's almost like, okay, the writers, it's like, okay, we know we have a point we want to make about the football industry. Or a bunch of points.
Like, do you think it's going to change football forever?
No, of course not. But we also want to add horror elements, but we also want to base it in reality, and we also want to make it true to life of like one athlete, and we want to combine the horror elements with the training, with the metaphor, with this, and it showed that it was all kind of convoluted.
Right. I mean, they say that movies are made in the editing room, but how many editors were working on it?
I don't know, unless there was a lot more story in this and they cut.
Like, how much
I
was
don't
cut?
know what would have made this a little bit clearer.
Right.
I just think that it's like there was a lot of different types of movies in one. And yeah, it didn't stay in one lane, which some people find good. And look, the absurdity and the insanity of this movie, that may alone appeal to some people. And I understand that. I totally understand.
Like, I'm curious if in like 50 years, people would be like, oh my gosh, we're studying him.
You know, it is the kind of movie that, let's say in 50 years, football's banned. I don't know. I'm just making this up.
Because you know what? I mean, like, it actually made me think the whole time I was watching the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, these little helmets are protecting people's brains. Like, and people pay a ridiculous amount of money. I'm getting really deep. They pay a ridiculous amount of money to watch these guys basically
slam into each other over and over.
Yeah, I like it.
No, I agree because, and again, there's a reason why all these studies have shown that football results in some of the most, I think, long-term injuries. Now, every sport has its injuries, of course.
Yeah,
and
like
that's a risk
tetherball,
you take.
Foursquare.
And I don't want to say that against sports because, look, that's a risk you take even walking outside. You could trip, you could fall, you could hurt yourself. But football, you are literally slamming into people, blocking them, throwing them down, pushing them to the ground, and you're only wearing a helmet and your head is getting bashed over and over.
And you know, when I was a kid, when I used to just be in the room where football was on, and you know, they weren't grass fields. They were sometimes just like fake fields, like fake grass.
Turf, yeah.
Turf. Okay, that's what word I couldn't get.
There's a word for that. Yeah.
Okay, so the turf, and like their elbows were exposed, and like their elbows were all bloody.
Yeah.
I was just like, why?
Well, I've got to say, football and boxing for me are the two sports that I am like, why would you subject yourself to? I know that hockey can be pretty violent too, but that's usually when the people get in fights with each other, not just the sport.
Right. I mean, like if you get hit with a puck in the face, ouch.
Ouch. But I mean, what makes hockey brutal is the fights that they get.
Right. Because they have tempers.
Football, like when you're a tight end, like your position.
Yeah.
No, but when you're like any sort of defensive person or any of the people that are either tackling or holding people back, you're constantly being thrown around all the time.
I wonder, I mean, like the injury list must be huge.
Oh, it is huge.
And like I'd hurt my fingers.
Just your fingers. But I think it's like the brain injuries alone. But so anyway, there were a lot of points that I think were like mildly made in this movie. And I think maybe... I don't know. It just was a little bit of a mess.
I do have a new respect for Tom Brady because that's the only football player I could know.
I look, focusing on the positive, I think Marlon Wayans impressed me in terms of his dramatic acting because I only remember him from like Scary Movie.
Oh, you know what is interesting?
And White Chicks.
Is that, remember the 2000 movie? I want to say it's 2000. Requiem of a Dream. Was he in that?
Marlon Wayans?
Yeah. Didn't he do drugs?
Actually, he may have been in that.
Yeah, like
that's
it
so
was.
weird.
It was with the each time they like did the drugs, there was like.
Oh yes.
And then this movie kind of took that idea a little bit and took it a little further.
But with blood transfusions.
But with blood in sports.
Yeah, I think that like I said, both performances, I was impressed with Tyriq Withers especially because I was not impressed with him, and I know what you did last summer. So his performance impressed me. I was impressed with how often they had him shirtless. I also just thought, like, yes, there was a ton of like yelling, locker room talk, sports stuff, everything like that.
Very relatable.
But it was very in a scary way. And then all of the nightmarish culty scenes were, again, they were visually appealing, but from a story perspective, it was just kind of convoluted.
Like, I have probably said this on every podcast, but who is this movie made for? Like guys that like football? Because wouldn't they not like football after watching this?
No, because
they don't care.
I think it was just made for people horror people.
Like the same people that watch OC Housewives.
Exactly.
Yes.
Tim Murdoch. No, I don't really know, because again, it doesn't have to be so on the nose of it's a sports movie, it's for sports people, because I don't know if I really consider this a sports movie. It's a horrific look at sports. A horrific look. I don't know why I say horrific. Horrific look at sports. And I don't know if sports people want to look at sports like that.
Right. Like, I mean, like, is this going to bum out, like, football?
Your dad loves football. You really think he wants to see him and see such a dark take on it?
I don't think my dad would like it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know if the sports audience that lives and dies by football wants to see a film like this. I think this is for people who, like, aren't the biggest fans of football, but are fans of crazy insanity.
I think this movie is made for insane people.
Well, we're fans of insane horror and nightmarish culty shit. Again, it did have feelings of Rosemary's Baby, and I think it had potential. Like, it could have been a good movie with a tighter script.
I totally agree. Like, if it just made just a pinch more sense and just was like just a little less on the like the dreamy whole look of it,
yes,
I would be like, okay, this makes sense. But once you go out into the desert and everything's like red, you lost me.
Once you have Naomi Grossman in a blonde wig, you lost
trying to attack people because that's her favorite team.
And
I'm
spitting on them.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of craziness, but I think the costumes must have been really fun because they're all dressed like those weird, you said pig mask, goat, pig, everything.
Right.
It was very odd. But anyway, so I mean, should you rush out to see him in the theaters? If you've listened to this episode this far and this appeals to you, then you probably should.
Right when the movie ended, I think you and I sat there like we were just kind of like taking a breath, just like.
I remember what I said. I turned to Tim and I said, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, it was like I mean, I guess. Bravo for making a movie make me think.
Well, let me give you a flip side reaction of when a movie ended. When we saw The Home with Pete Davidson, which we went into with zero expectations, I turned to Tim and I said, I think I may have liked that movie because I was so shocked.
We didn't say that.
Oh, we didn't say about him. No. I said I literally said what the fuck was that?
And then I think a lot of people were just sitting there not getting up to move. They were just kind of like, okay, I just sat there for 2 hours and I don't know what I just saw.
What did I see? The thing is, it got panned by critics. Like, critics hated it. I haven't checked out the audience score, but like I don't think it is. I don't know if people are gonna love this movie.
But sometimes when a movie's so insane, people would like. If you just told me everything that we just talked about, I'd be like, "Oh, this sounds insane! I can't wait to see it."
Well, then that's what if for anybody who's listened or watched this episode to this point and didn't see him. Maybe we intrigued you, and great, you should see it, but just know what you're getting into, know
Craziness.
What kind of movie. Yeah, know what kind of movie you're getting into, and for people who just want to see it for Tyriq Withers, go ahead. There's a lot of him in it.
Yes, like there's so much like close up on his eyes. The movie should have been called Cam's Eyes.
Like, he was literally shirtless in every scene.
Yeah, well,
it almost was exploitative if it wasn't that the whole movie was about him training and working out.
Right. I mean, what's so weird? Like, the movie says like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize. I thought that was week, but it was just a day, right?
No,
it was like day 1.
Day was a day.
Okay, I thought it was
because he was only there for a week.
Week 2.
He was doing 6 weeks training. No. It was 1 week. Yeah, it was a quick training thing.
I'm learning.
I want to know what kind of blood transfusion do we need to get to be the GOAT?
I already know how to do it. Yeah, I'm ham.
I want to be Tim. Let's get some blood in us and be really good at football. Can you imagine?
Nothing would disinterest me more.
And there you have it, everybody. Anyway, that is our review of him. And I don't know why we always keep saying it like
well,
that.
I like to say him because it rhymes with Tim.
Him from Tim and Matt. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Go out
Bye.
and throw football.
Football. Yeah,
Yay!
sports.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Happy Horror Time.
If you'd like to support the podcast, please sign up to be a patron at www.patreon.com/happyhorrortime. As a patron, you get access to all our bonus content, which now includes 2 new bonus episodes every month, a monthly after show mini episode, access to our Discord community so you can chat with us directly, and the chance to review a film with us in one of our bonus episodes.
Patrons also get all our regular episodes ad-free and a day early, our monthly newsletter, the chance to vote in polls, and autographed Happy Horror Time stickers.
I'm Matt Emmert.
And I'm Tim Murdoch.
And we hope you have a happy horror time.